Last episode on sailing Millennial Falcon, we spent a few days sanding the hull and made the big decision to rip up our teak decks. We also made a few new friends and broke a lot of tools. It's boiling hot and it's mid-afternoon and I'm on the way to Hillsborough. Hillsborough is it's like the biggest kind of town on this island of Khiara P, and I need to go and fill out a customs form to then send so that they can then put it on their ferry, which then goes to Grenada, which can then release our cutlass bearing. So we can't move the boat without it, and they won't release it without it either. So it's such a hot day, such an inconvenience, but going there now. While I'm in Hillsborough, Adam is taking up the decks from the starboard side. Okay, so I found the customs office and I got the forms from the customs office. Went up to the counter about 5 times asking A, how to complete the forms, and then B, where to send them to after that. She finally sent me in a direction up the road to go drop it off at the local ferry service called the Osprey. Just dropped it off there, this envelope of my forms and everything, so hopefully everything going according to plan, and they should get the form tomorrow. Which would then mean that they can release our cutlass bearing. And now I'm going to go back home and see the progress that Adam's done on the teak decks. We're on the move again for a second, and now we're stopping to chat. Finally back in the yard. 100% that taxi driver was just like going around doing his daily chores, dropping his wife off for like the seamstress, waiting for her to do her thing there and picking her up again. It's so funny. Longest journey in the world. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Got the front of the deck peeled back and I'm scraping off all this black.
Oh wow! We're gonna have a look at the progress. Wow, you've done pretty well.
Pretty well. Pretty well, she says. Right.
Woo. Daily update on the crack. It is still dripping, but dripping slightly less at least. Still going to be here for a while yet. It's another day in paradise. Ripping up teak decks. We have to go, we're now on the starboard side. You'll always see that I pause before saying starboard or port, because I'm like, okay, which one is it, which one is it? We're now working our way into the starboard side, going from front to back, ripping up teak decks. Adam made a good start on it yesterday, and it's going to be incredibly ambitious, but I'm going to try and get to the winches, I think, today, because that's like the really, really hard bit is around the winches. The guys next to us in the dive boat that they've been working on, they're going to be launched today. However, we are sitting very, very close to them. So the guys from the dive boat have just come up and said, FYI, they're probably going to have to move you in order to get us out because we're launching today. So right now, all of our anchors are hanging down on the floor and crap's everywhere. So I'm going to need to spend a good hour just fixing things up, making sure that we're actually going to be okay to move the boat. Better go and tell Adam too, because he's still working. Maybe I won't tell him. And then the boat will start moving and Adam will come out and be like, Khiara, what's going on? Oh my God. To be fair, it's also not actually the yard's fault. That was just a screw set going on the floor. We did say we were going to be here like 10 days and it's now been 14 days and we are still waiting for our keel to dry. and we can't do anything right now until that dries. So we did say that we're going to be here a little bit shorter than what we actually are. So I'm not surprised that they have to move us.
When are they going to do this?
I don't know. They just told the dive boat next to us. They didn't actually say anything to us so far. I might go up and ask.
I'll be sitting here and I'll just start shaking.
Yeah, I did actually see. I told you. I did say to the camera, I was like, maybe I won't tell Adam. Maybe he'll just be like moving around and be like, Khiara, what's going on? And I'll be
so plugged in right now. I probably wouldn't even know. I'll be like, gee, Khiara's banging on the deck pretty hard. Just like, and I'll come out and be like, oh,
damn it! I should have done it. I really should have done it. Oh.
Halfway through the day, a friend who was doing the same job in the same yard on the same boat arrived with the cutlass bearing we'd both been waiting on. We could finally get to work replacing it.
Don't put your finger near a grinder when it's on. This is the reason why. It's not actually bleeding, surprisingly.
Let me see. What have you done?
It's just got a nice layer off the top.
You've singed it.
I am such a klutz. But at least on the other hand, like literally on the other hand, this one was actually bleeding and this one was only from a multi-tool, so much worse, but the instrument was that much better.
What happened?
It was literally...
How did you cut yourself on the top of your hand?
It was because I was finished and I was like just looking around and I just put my finger too close to like the grinder was actually slowing down too. It wasn't even like, I turned it off at that stage, it was slowing down.
Use what you're grinding to stop the grinder.
Anyway, on to vacuuming and then filling in the resin, all before
10 minutes.
Yep, apparently so. Crap. FYI, this is now a work hat. I just look like the most glamorous worker in the yard, apparently. Apparently, according to me. Okay, so we thought that we might actually be able to get everything done by the time that my friend came here to pick us up to go out to dinner. He came just when I was drilling, just when I finished drilling the holes, so I couldn't put resin in. One last step. So we've laid a tarp over it and we'll do the rest of it tomorrow, pretty much. But now we're actually gonna go and have a swim in the pool and a proper hot shower at our friend's place and have a nice barbecue.
Just driving up to our friend Matt's house and we made a new friend. He was in the middle of the road and we're... Apparently this is how you move the roadkill aside. It's not roadkill.
Buddy.
Hey buddy, you're fine. You're fine.
He's quite big. Wow.
He's quite heavy too.
Okay, we were gonna have a nice quiet night and not film. But these guys' house is really, really nice. And they have a pool. And they were like, hey, you wanna jump in and go swimming? And we're like, yeah, obviously. So it's a super warm pool. Sunset's just gone. This is the view.
The cutlass bearing arrived yesterday after 2 weeks and 2 attempts at a C14, so we can dodge import tax, which is like 60% sometimes. Anyway, it's finally here, so today's job for me is to tear off the housing, clean it up a little bit and try to get the bearing out of the housing. I'm hoping that it's just so rotten and so corroded that it just crumbles out of there.
You know it won't be.
Yeah, it won't. It's not going to happen, but today's the day.
It'll be like flogged out and like rattling around for the months that we've been sailing on it, and it'll be
now it'll
such
be
a
rock
hard
solid,
time.
yeah.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
nah, I ain't going nowhere.
So Khiara's on deck duty solo, and I'm on below the waterline duty today.
Cool.
past fault. I just have to clean all the junk out of here, and this whole section will unthread. There's like a thread that runs inside here, and that has a thread on the end and it shreds it.
Oh, cool. Do you know that your hair is blue?
No.
I think it quite suits you. It's a new fashion, I think. Chalk hair.
Whatever. I must have been touching this.
Yeah. Some nice blue tints in his hair.
Just had a shower yesterday too. That sounds terrible when I say it like that. I just washed this week.
Want to be a boat owner today. The teak decks is the same job as usual, trying to get them up, and it's just working in the smallest space possible. It's really annoying, and this is like day 6 or 7 of constantly just doing this, and I'm just over it. I just want to go sailing. I just want the jobs to end. They never ever seem to end. It's just ugh.
Slaving away downstairs. I get dishwater tipped on my head.
He was sitting right underneath the through hole. I just washed my hands. Oops. It's gonna make some breakfast finally. It could be that I'm in a bad mood because I haven't had any breakfast, so might be why. Okay, I now have my finger protection and my knee pads. Hopefully I shouldn't hurt as much now. And if I can get more than 1 centimetre off at a time, then we'll be winning, or we might actually get through the last quarter of the deck today. I obviously looked thoroughly pathetic while kneeling on my cloth knee pads. The next boat behind us came over with their proper ones. Woohoo, upgrade! I've been called downstairs, mainly because I suggested that we should go and have a Coke run at the supermarket. And secondly, because Adam says that he's almost finished getting the old cutlass bearing out.
So the way you're supposed to get a cutlass bearing out is if you're lucky enough to have a boat with a housing, you take the whole housing off and you don't have to remove the shaft because it slides off the end. But if you're unfortunate and you have a P bracket, you have to do all of this while it's in the boat, which makes life quite difficult. I've hacksawed just using a hacksaw blade and a rag. You have to hacksaw your way through the bearing housing once you pull the rubber sleeve out, and I've cut 2 channels and then begun to like bash out the channel using it as a hammering platform with a screwdriver, but you can't get away with 1, and that's just enough to compress, just enough to sort of reduce the diameter of the cutlass bearing enough to get it out of the compression fit. So here, this is the inside of the old cutlass bearing. It's completely trashed. It's about half as thick as it should be. And for context, here's the new cutlass bearing. Obviously the brass sleeve goes on the outside of this one as well, but I don't know if you can sight that shot,
yeah.
Khiara, but it is less than half as thick as it should be.
Alright guys, it's been 14 days since we've been in the yard, and this is the reason why we are still here. It's not really drying, and we can't go back in the water without fiberglassing it. So we're going to try and drill a few more holes in our keel, just try and get rid of some of the water, because it's just like leaking non-stop, like it keeps on dripping just as much as what it did when we first got it out of the water. So it's holding us back now. Oh my god, there's so much water. That's crazy.